The shooting down of the US drone was announced on Iranian state television. They did not immediately broadcast any pictures of the attack, but showed instead a file image of the type of drone they said had been hit, an unmanned surveillance aircraft used for gathering imagery of large areas of land in all weathers. Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard commander said it had destroyed the drone because it wanted to send a strong message to the US. Those who defend the borders of the Islamic nation of Iran will react in a total and decisive way to any intrusions by foreign elements on our land. Our borders are our red line. An enemy that violates our borders will not return and will be destroyed. The commander went on to say that Iran was ready for war, but added that they did not seek conflict with any nation. However, the incident comes at a time of increasing tension between Tehran and Washington. At its heart, the international nuclear deal, which the US withdrew from last year. This week, Iran said it was also no longer willing to abide by the terms of the agreement and could soon restart its nuclear activity. Also raising concerns are attacks on 2 oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman. On Wednesday, the US military presented more evidence it said linked Tehran to the incidents. Iran, for its part, denies involvement. The United States has also said it has no interest in fueling the dispute with Iran. But the fear is a military confrontation could happen not by design, but by accident.
And we're joined now by Simon Mabon, lecturer in international relations at Lancaster University. And you know, Simon, as we've seen there, tensions between these two countries, they've been increasing for some time. This development, is it surprising to you?
Not particularly. I think if we look back over the past few months and particularly the past few weeks, we've seen that both Iran and the United States and also Saudi Arabia are all getting increasingly concerned about what's happening in the Gulf. They're becoming more and more suspicious of each other. And as a consequence, it's hardly surprising that the United States would be launching these types of drones, trying to get a better picture of what Iran is doing, thinking that if it is provoking Iran, if it is putting this pressure on Iran economically, militarily, politically, then Iran might lash out. And I guess that would be the obvious thing to do, to look at what Iran is doing to try and get a sense of whether it is at that point of launching any type of attack. But then, of course, Iran would be on the lookout for this, on the lookout for any penetration of its airspace. And if there is any doubt about US drones, or indeed any drones flying into Iran's airspace right now, given that it's on the defensive, given that it's also politically charged, then it would certainly do something like this.
And we have some very strong rhetoric. I mean, the country saying that it is ready for war. Given that, Simon, where do you see this going? I mean, further escalation possible here?
Well, I think your little package just before you came to me did a very good job of summing all of that up, in the sense that it's not necessarily that states will want war. The danger here is that war will happen accidentally. It's not in the US interests for them to go to war with Iran. President Trump has repeatedly said he does not want to commit US forces more into the Middle East. Saudi Arabia doesn't necessarily want war, but its Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, has said, we are ready for war if it comes to it. Iran doesn't want war. The Iranian economy has been damaged massively by the economic sanctions placed on the state after the US withdrew from the nuclear deal. So it's not really in anyone's interests. The pragmatic response is not to have a conflict here, because it will be devastating for not just the states in question, but also for the region and for international actors as well. But the danger is, in this climate of increased risk, increased instability, increased fear, that someone does something and it's perceived in a different way, or someone does something accidentally and it triggers something. And that's exactly what your package said.
And I mean, you're seeing no signs here of de-escalation. In fact, the United States already announcing that it's sending 1,000 more troops to the region. So, Simon, I mean, can you see either side here really backing down? Are they stuck in this game of chicken?
I think that's probably a good way of looking at it, that neither side can really afford to lose face here. We know that Trump is embarking on a presidential re-election campaign. He's not one for nuance, really, in his rhetoric. He's bombastic. He's not going to back down. But neither can the Iranians. Their fate, their very survival is on the line. They will not back down in the face of the United States. So it's not going to be a case of someone backing down from the other. What it will take is a different state, a different organization stepping up and saying, right, we need to do something, we need to mediate, we need to have some diplomatic back channels. And we know that there are back channels open between the Saudis and the Iranians and various other actors, but we need to know that they're open right now and that both sides and the United States are willing to talk to one another, because if not, then we will see this game of chicken getting more and more dangerous.
Simon Mabon from Lancaster University, thank you.
Thank you.